exactly the same place.
It's okay?
Yep, you're on.
At any rate, in the power struggle, I'm no longer willing to get out. I want to watch more movies. I really don't want to go hiking today. And he really doesn't want to hear how what he did last night hurt my feelings, and he doesn't care about how I feel. And we have entered the power struggle at that point. So how does that feel inside? Well, at first we're really shocked. How could he not care about the fact that what he said yesterday hurt my feelings? And how could I not want to go out? We're just like, we can't believe it. We get angry. And we tend to do those things that we do when we're angry. Often that octopus turtle behavior. And we start behaving in ways to get the other person to do what we want them to do. So the octopuses tend to start talking, and the turtles get quiet. So like bargaining, again, we're behaving in ways that we usually do. My particular favorite is to explain to him how it's better for him if he expresses his emotions and it's healthier. I start pleading. I get really appealing, you can tell. It's just really wonderful to be around me. And he's shut down and passive-aggressive and withholding even more. So it's not working out so well. And when we notice that it's not working out so well, we get sad. So what does that look like? What process
A mess.
is this besides a mess?
A death and dying.
It's death and dying. These are the stages of grief, and that's exactly what we're going through at that time, are the stages of grief. We're feeling the grief of the loss of that wholeness that we felt, that we have been looking for since we were born, that we think we have found during the infatuation period. And at this point in time, we also use those protective behaviors because we are guarding ourselves from that sense of grief. We don't want to feel that. It doesn't feel good to feel, and whether you're a maximizer or a minimizer, you do not want to feel that. It's more painful to enter the power struggle phase if the infatuation phase has been particularly intense. So for those folks whose infatuation phase was milder, it might be slightly less disappointing, and you can just notice that things aren't as great as they were. So whether it's intense or not, at this point we have choices. And in this day and age, a lot of the choices that are made are to leave the relationship. We decide we're not compatible, this relationship isn't working, I clearly didn't get who he really was, so I leave the relationship. Some people stay and fight. Some people stay shut down and continue withholding or doing whatever they do. But there is another choice, and that is, again, what Maya and Barbara have been talking about, and that's to get curious and compassionate. Curious and compassionate about our unmet needs and our lost parts, how we got that way, what it is we need to do to grow, and to get curious and compassionate about the other person and their unmet needs and their lost parts, and why it is so hard for them to do exactly what we want them to do to get our needs met. And there's a piece of good news, and that is that neurological research using functional MRIs shows that the brains of those who are in long-term relationships who report still being in love and feeling that feeling, those brains look the same as the brains of people who have recently connected with a new love. So their brains have the same structure and the same things going on that newly in love people do. And I think that's really something to go for. If you do the work. If you do the work of getting curious and starting to talk to one another, learning how to talk to one another, you've got something better than the original infatuation. You've got safety. You know who this person is. You know who you are. And you've got the bonding of knowing that when you go back into that power struggle and that spiral that you sometimes go in, you can get back there. And that feels wonderful. And that's what we're all about here today.
Yay! Woo!